Yeah, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. Hope everyone's doing great today. Well, I would like to address something here. Now, the last several videos I made, giving you guys updates about my employment situation. I noticed that certain type of comments keep coming up over and over again. Uh, some of you are wondering why in the heck would I make a decision to move to Alabama, one of the poorest states in the Union, with some of the lowest wages in the Union. And some of you are claiming that I didn't do my research, or you don't think I did my research before I came down here. And I would like to address that right now. Well, for starters, and yeah, for starters, the reason why I moved down here was because ever since ever since I was young, like ever since I was in my 20s, I've always dreamed of living somewhere to where I would be able to own a home sitting on some land. B, I would be able to live in a warmer climate. And C, although I never had the desire to live right up by the water. Well, I mean, at one point in my life, I did, until I rised up and I realized that if I lived too close to the water, my house could possibly get blown away in a hurricane. So, however, I wanted to be close enough to the beaches to where I can jump in my car and drive an hour or two to the beach. I wouldn't have to take 6 months to a year just to plan a trip to the Gulf, for an example. I can just jump in my car and drive a hour or two and I'm there. And that has always been my dream. Now I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, that's stupid. Who cares? Well, that has been my dream. Is to live like that. And as far as me doing my research about the economy here in Alabama, uh, bear in mind that when I moved down here a little over 2 years ago. And the economy, even down here, was a little different a couple of years ago than what it is today. And also, without me getting too much into my financial business, also bear in mind that when I chose to move down here, I had, you know, I moved down here with the financial means to move down here. Meaning, my overhead would be fairly low. I mean, I don't want to keep bringing this up over and over, but just for the sake of this video, just so some of you understand where I come from, of why I chose to move down here. Uh, with the housing prices down here being a little cheaper than other places that are warmer in the country, I was able to come down here and purchase myself a home uh, and not have to worry about a mortgage because I had properties throughout the years up in Indiana that I've sold, and on top of that, I worked my butt off and I saved a crap load of my money. So, a couple of years or so ago, I thought it would be a good time for me to come down here and enjoy my life that much more. Not have to deal with cold weather, not have to deal with snow. Live somewhere to where I have some land because that's just how I've always wanted to live my life, and that's why I came down here. And as far as it goes for the job market, since my overhead would be fairly low because I didn't have a mortgage and I don't have car payments, I don't have children, so I don't have to worry about paying all those bills. I don't really get into wearing I don't really get into wearing fancy clothes, so I don't have that issue. I don't do credit cards. If I can't afford to pay cash, I don't purchase. I Those are the principles I've been living by for several years now. So I'm thinking I can come down here and get a job working either as a custodian or get a job working light maintenance. A line of work that is, at least to me, not too hard, not too stressful. And yes, I realize the pay for those type of jobs are not high, but back when I was living in Indiana, I spent several years working jobs that did pay better. That also stressed me the hell out and had me super tired. I spent several years up in Indiana working 60, 70 plus hours a week. On the side, I donated plasma because back in those days, me, you know, me coming up on here and being a YouTuber wasn't even an idea that I was even able to fathom in my mind. So I figure after doing all that, I can come down here, live a nice life, get a custodial or light maintenance job, and I'm good. And when I came down here in the region of Alabama where I currently reside, there were jobs like that I saw online. Now, one thing I didn't know, however, is, and again, I'm not speaking for all of Alabama, I'm only speaking for the region of Alabama in which I reside. Now, some of you want to know where in Alabama I live, and I would love to tell you, but I'm not going to because I don't know if you're asking me that because you genuinely want to help me, or you're asking me that because you want to be nosy and you want to be on some creepy stuff. I don't know who you guys are like that, so for my own protection and security, I don't tell you guys specifics on where I live here in Alabama. But the line of work that I wanted to do, I did see postings online for those positions. So I came down here. And I did have a job down here, but I quit that job. In fact, yeah, I had a custodial job down here, but I quit because I quit that job and I took a light maintenance job because the pay was better. And I kept that job for a little bit, and I ultimately quit that job because this was like maybe a little. This is like maybe a little over a year and a half ago. I decided to quit that job because I wanted to travel around and be a full time YouTuber and build my channel. And I thought on the side I can do DoorDash or Uber. I can do jobs like that. And I would say for about a year, that type of a setup worked pretty well for me. I traveled around. I was able to take trips to North and South Dakota, and I was able to take trips all over the South down here in the Midwest. And, whenever I was home, I did DoorDash. And then it got to the point where the money I was making doing DoorDash was starting to decrease. And it also got to the point where the distance that I had to drive to deliver my orders began to increase, and the money I was making was decreasing. So then I got to thinking about the wear and tear on my car, with along with gas, and that's the reason why I decided to quit doing DoorDash. I decided to quit doing the gig work deal and go back to working a 9 to 5. And when I first tried looking for a 9 to 5, I want to say about a year or so ago, at first I tried looking for a 9 to 5 here in Alabama. Now, at this time, I have just purchased myself a second house up in Indiana. Because initially, what I wanted to do was I wanted to live 6 months down here, well, maybe 6 to 8 months down here, and then for the hottest months out of the year, I would go back up to Indiana. So anyhow, I started looking for work down here because when I decided to quit doing DoorDash, it was around fall time. So I knew Indiana was going to start to get cold weather. However, I was unable to find work down here. So then when I decided to switch to looking for work to Indiana, I found a job almost immediately. So I decided to take that job. I kept it for about 6 months. And at first, when I first took the job up in Indiana, I was gonna sell this house here. And honestly, knowing given what I've been through recently when it comes to employment down here, I'm thinking to myself, I probably should have just stuck with selling this house last year, but I didn't because I still had a hope. I still had hope. I still had hope that I would be able to come back down here, live the life that I desire to live, and have a job. So after 6 months, after 6 months of being in Indiana, and after several times of coming back and forth from Indiana to down here to job interviews and submitting all type of applications and resumes online, I finally landed a job down here. Now, unfortunately, I was only at that job for a couple of months and then I walked off. And if you want to know why I walked off the job, I got a video on this channel titled "I Walked Off My Job." So if you want to know the details, go watch the video. That video will explain in detail why I chose to walk off the job that I had. So after I walked off of that job, I decided to not look for work. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna focus on my YouTube. I'm gonna go back to doing gig work like I was doing before. So for a little bit, for the last couple of months, that's what I've been doing. And the reason why I'm once again looking for a job is because, as I told you earlier, gig work tends to be very hard on your vehicle. And then by the time you factor in the amount of money you spend on gas and oil changes and maintenance on your vehicle, you really don't make a whole lot of money. And with inflation going on the way it's going on, and we're just right around the corner. I mean, this is my opinion, but we're just right around the corner from this economy going into a full blown recession. So, with all that going on, I wanted to get a regular job and do what I was able to do to earn enough money to where I would no longer have to continue to dip into my savings. As far as paying my bills, I wouldn't even have to depend on my money that I earn on YouTube. My job would pay the bills, and it would also fund my retirement. And money I make on YouTube will just be extra money that I'll just throw in some type of a investment account towards my retirement or something. That was my initial plan, and that still is my plan. So, uh, as we speak right now, I haven't, you know, I'm gonna be coming with a video later, giving you guys an update of what's going on with my job situation. I don't want to do that on this video. I'm gonna do it on another video. And also, I'm gonna make another video today, just kind of giving you guys a quick rundown of the economy here in Alabama, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding of the economy here in Alabama. And on this channel, I try to be as truthful and accurate and transparent as possible. So I'm going to do another video probably after this one, just giving you guys a quick rundown of the economy in Alabama. So hopefully this video helps you guys better understand why it was that I chose to move down here and buy a house, despite the stereotypes of Alabama, despite the economy and everything. And I will be honest, did I take a bit of a risk coming down here? I did. I'm not going to deny that. Did I have higher expectations when I came down here? I did. And I won't deny that either. And my attitude is, sometimes in order to live your best and happiest life, and part of the journey to success, at some point in your life, you gotta take some calculated risk. If you live your life and you don't ever take any calculated risk, in most cases, you're not gonna ever reach your fullest potential in life. I mean, there's a lot of you out here that you work your 9 to 5. You know you hate your job, you hate where you live, you hate life. There's people out here that are on prescription due to the fact that they hate their life. My attitude is, if I dislike my life, I'm gonna do what I can do to make it a better life. Sometimes what I do may not work, and I have to go back to the drawing board and do something different. And the situation I'm facing right now with the job situation I'm facing here in Alabama, I'm afraid that's most likely what's going on with me. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board and do something different. And to me, that's what life is about. It's about creating the life you want to live. And the second that something goes terribly wrong, you might have to go back to the drawing board and, I don't know, do something different, change something. So hopefully this video helps you guys better understand why I moved here to Alabama. So if you like what I do here, you can give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And on that note, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay blessed.